Hey guys, it's Scott with scottieb Cards, and in this video I want to talk about the silent killer that is ruining your cards. That silent killer that is ruining your cards is turning beautiful bold blue autographs to this. I saw this card on the Fanatics Premier Auction. I don't know what it ended for. Probably a good amount because it's still a Michael Jordan, Kobe, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James quadruple autograph, which is super cool. But you can't help but notice the autographs are faded. Faded beyond recognition in some capacity. And it's really sad because this is what this card is supposed to look like. The card on the right was actually sold in the last 12 months and the card on the left was as well. They're both numbered to 10 from the exact same set, but obviously the card on the right is significantly better because it held those autographs. So what caused this issue and how can you protect against it? Let's talk about that. What caused this issue? This caused that issue. Displaying your cards in the light. It is the biggest autograph killer. And we'll talk about that. So this is like in your own personal display, like these cards back here. There's a reason there's never autographs back here. Those are just base cards, parallels, non-autograph cards. So we do know that light, whether it's UV light from the sun through your window, whether it's your own fluorescent lighting that you have, and even in some rare cases, even LED lighting can be harmful to autographs. And so the biggest offenders that cause this to happen are personal displays, card shops where cards sit for years and years and years and don't sell if the price tag is too high, or even card shows, right? There's some vendors who will pack up and take their cards to all these different card shows, and every time they display them, those autographs are slowly fading. And it's one of those things with the faded autographs that the ones that have the bright blue bold autographs as time progresses are going to be the ones that are sought after, and the faded ones are just going to eventually fade to nothing, which is kind of sad. One reason you could argue that buying the base cards are better, but even then you have to be careful because base cards still can fade. We see that with Pokemon cards, they lose their ink coloring, or vintage cards, they lose some of that coloring. The direct sunlight and the really harsh fluorescent lighting can be a challenge. So here's another example. I want to talk about the different progression and different stages of faded autographs. Here are 3 Michael Jordan and LeBron James dual autographs from I believe 2007 SP game used. But the one on the very far left right here, this looks like it was pack pulled just barely, right? The autograph itself is very bright, very blue, would get a 10 autograph grade most likely unless there was like a streak or speckling, like the autograph didn't dry and it got a little bit of speckles on there, but it looks good. And the autograph next to it, it still is completely intact, but you can tell it's darkening. So that's like the progression you have with these autographs. You have the bright blue, then it darkens. And then what happens again, you'll see on the right, it's even more dark and the autograph is starting to kind of fade away a little bit. And then eventually you end up in a situation where the autograph looks like this. So those are the kind of the different stages of autographs. I want to make sure you're aware of it. I know it's scary and kind of uncomfortable to even look at, but it is one of those things. Here's an example with baseball cards. Baseball cards are not exempt. Here's a Clayton Kershaw. This card's from 2006. The card on the left looks like it was signed in 2006. The autograph has a little bit of a streak right here, but that's not from fading. That's from the marker. The autograph on the right, however, is almost completely off of the card. To continue, we see this Mike Trout example, very bright blue bold autograph, and then a more so faded, darkened autograph. So how do you avoid fading? Let's talk about that. Let's first talk about the different ink colors. Blue ink typically holds better than black ink. There's a reason why a lot of the trading card companies use blue ink. It's because it holds really, really well for a longer time frame. Blue ink will still darken. It'll go dark to like a blackish color. There'll be times you wonder why an autograph on some cards are blue and some are black. Those aren't black. They're probably just dark blue over time, and then they fade. Black will just get lighter as time progresses. Look at this Ken Griffey Jr. Mickey Mantle duel. This is from 1994, I believe. The one on the top looks like it was basically signed yesterday, right? If you protect the autograph, it'll take a very, very, very long time to fade, or it may never fade. But the one down here below, this Griffey is starting to fade away. It's just graying and falling off the card. So the biggest advice is keep your cards in the dark. I know that's not fun, whether it's a personal card that you love to look at or what it is. I would recommend like making a copy, a high-end reproduction of your own card and having that on the display if you really would like to, but keep your cards in the dark. Don't even keep them stacked on top of each other in the light because those can still get some UV lighting. Keeping it in the dark is the best way. And then again, UV light is your biggest enemy. Direct sunlight's the worst. Indirect sunlight is the next worst, then fluorescent lighting. And then there is LED lighting that's designed to be safer for these autographs, but those can still fade over time. And I can hear you saying, well, I have UV protectant slabs, or I have UV protectant, all these different things. These cards are graded by PSA, so they should be good, right? No, not all slabs are 100% covered by UV protection. That's one big challenge. They do have some like marginal protection, but I don't know the exact numbers, so I don't want to accuse PSA of having a certain amount and then I'm wrong, but it's not UV protectant. They would never say it's 100% UV protected. And same with BGS and SGC. Other companies, CGC and TAG, I don't know. I can't say for them, but I would assume it's the same, but that's an assumption. But either way, be aware of that. Just because they're graded doesn't mean they're protected. There's aftermarket cases you can buy. You can put the slabbed cards in there are 100% UV protected. And then you even can buy like these like stickers you can stick to the slab that is UV protected. But even then, I'd still just do the best method of keeping it in the dark, which is sad, but it does protect the card the best. Humidity is also damaging to autographs. It's high, hot humidity that can cause the autograph to streak and can progress this, but that's less of a concern compared to light itself. So the question is, can you pull them out and look at them? Absolutely. This is a prolonged light exposure. Obviously, these cards were signed in the light. They're meant to be enjoyed. You can pull them out and look at them. You can look at photos of them, but just be aware if you leave them out, that's when you do have some concerns. So I have a theory. We could have a positive spin on this topic. And this positive spin is if you're a savvy sports card buyer and pay a premium for the bold blue autographs, you're in a really good position. A card may be numbered to 50. Look at that Clayton Kershaw Gold Bowman Chrome autograph. But how many of those 50 that were produced back in 2006 still have a bold blue autograph? Let's say a third of them. So now we're looking at 15 to 25 of those actually have a bold blue autograph. So those are going to be more valuable in the long run. Yes, grade and condition is important, but I would much rather have a PSA 9 with a perfect auto than a PSA 10 with an almost invisible autograph. That's just a me personal thing, but I think that's going to be the trend in the future. So my theory is if you're smart and buy autograph condition just as much as grade condition for the card itself, that's going to be a good play, especially for the more rare autographs. The common ones, probably not so much, but the rare ones, definitely, especially the ones that are out at every single show. You know, you have the vendors who travel and have the cards out. Those are the ones at the biggest risk. So I already mentioned this, but a PSA 10 with a non-existent autograph is less desirable to me than a PSA 7 with a 10 autograph. Pretty straightforward. And I do want to note, autograph grades aren't always accurate. So if you're looking at a PSA 10-10 dual autograph grade card, that doesn't always mean it's a 10. Same with the BGS 9.5 with a 10 autograph grade. This Albert Pujols, when it was graded, was a 10, but because these slabs didn't have UV protection, or 100% UV protection, I should say, these autographs have faded away. So just be careful with this. This can be misleading. 10s don't always mean they're 10s. Kind of like card condition. Autograph condition is only the moment it was graded, but they can deteriorate, which is something you need to pay attention to. In the past, this has led some people with bad autographs to grade with PSA, a faded autograph or a streaky autograph, because if you got a PSA 9, there's not really the need for a autograph grade on the card. BGS in the good old days, they actually graded every card autograph grade regardless. At least that's what I understand, unless you ask them not to. Now they will only grade your card with an autograph grade if it's a 10. It'll just say 9.5 with no 10 autograph mention or autograph grade mentioned at all on the slab. So that's not how it used to be. So people used to send those to PSA with the hopes that it would just get a 9 or a 10, even though the autograph didn't look great. That switched. Now we don't care. Now we want even good autograph cards to be by PSA because PSA is the brand and the clear leader that we want in the hobby, but just something that's interesting from the past. If you do like to display cards, already talked about this, consider non-autographs. There's a lot of really shiny, pretty cards that are good cards to display just because if you want them out on your desk, and just if you probably already have both autographs and non-autographs, so just keep the ones that aren't autographed on your desk if you wanted to keep them out. So the takeaways, buy the card with the understanding of the autograph condition. It's going to be important in the long run. Protect the autograph with darkness, keep it in the dark, keep it covered, keep it away so it doesn't get that exposure. If you're looking to buy a card for the long term, buy a blue bold autograph if possible. Some cards, it doesn't matter if it's a 1-on-1 and it's slightly faded, it is what it is. You can't control it. Or if it's very, very rare, you can't control it either. But that's important, is try to have the best autograph you can. Buy a humidity and temperature thermometer. These exist. It'll tell you the temperature and the humidity in your room. You want to have a specific humidity, don't want to get too hot. All those temperature fluctuations aren't good for the cards. So that's something I do have that I check. You also can buy a UV reader online. They're much more expensive, but you can check UV of the PSA slabs, the BGS slabs, all of that. If you'd like to see a video of that, let me know and I can check all the UV myself with a UV reader. It's expensive, but if you want it, I can do it. So let me know there. And even your base cards can fade, so still be careful with them. Rotate them. Don't have them out all the time. And lastly, the same concept exists for baseballs, jerseys, bats, everything. I have a Wally Joyner autographed baseball up here I'm not too worried about. But if it was a Mickey Mantle, I'd definitely not have it out like I have that Wally Joyner. So other than that, kind of a not depressing video, but just something I wanted to share with you so you're careful if you didn't know this already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next video.